Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Um, I decided I had to do another video from out here because the weather's still good, and I kind of got an inspiration doing the last video that I recorded. I'm not always sure what order I'll put these out, but it was the one on personal responsibility where I was sitting in this yard back here. Um, and I kind of, it just kind of gave me the idea for a video, although this idea has kind of been rolling around in my head this whole trip. And I think the seeds have actually been there before. I think I've had just glancing thoughts of this, but I'm looking at this yard. I've lived in Costa Rica now for 16 years. You just don't have this much available space. Most people don't have yards. It would just kind of be wasted space. So I've been looking at this place a little differently on the last couple of trips, and really this time starting to think about even laying the groundwork for a plan for the future. Now, my mother's 85 years old, and I hope she lives for another 15, 20 years. But eventually, this will be mine. It's kind of, it's a little simple house. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house in South Alabama. But this yard is huge. And as I've been spending time out in the yard and thinking more and more, thinking about my future and thinking about how I want to make my future even more of a natural thing than my present is. So I'm looking at this yard, all this space back here, and I'm just having different visions and different thoughts and different possibilities. And I really see I see a lot out here. I see a way of possibly somewhere down the road sustaining myself almost entirely in several different ways from here. And like I say, I'm just starting to brainstorm now. I'm looking into already, I started this morning, went to Google and started looking at, for instance, what kind of fruit trees are viable here in South Alabama. Now, what I've come up with so far is fig trees and Asian persimmons, both great fruits. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to get it done. I got stuff to do. I'm going away. I'm going to Pensacola this Saturday, probably for the night. So I probably am not going to plant trees this trip, but now the seed is planted, and now I'm thinking like that. I am going to go find a nursery and see if they have fig trees, Asian persimmon trees here, but I'm not getting into the particulars. The big picture is I could envision this big of a space out here. I mean, you guys can, this is a GoPro, so you probably can't tell the perspective, the scale, but without even making it very crowded or like ridiculous, easily could have 3 or 4 tiny homes. I keep up and watch all these developments on the tiny homes. So I could easily put four tiny homes back here. Get a food forest going. I don't know, I'm not fully trained in that. I don't know if I'm ever going to go do one of the permaculture courses, but I would like to learn more about the principles of that and at least kind of start laying a little bit of groundwork that it could be used for that later, such as planting fruit trees, maybe getting some shrubs back here. Now, I won't do a whole lot because, like most people, my mother's great, I love her to death, but she's a little resistant to change sometimes, and she's used to her certain things, so I'm not going to come in and just go willy-nilly and start doing things back here. Probably phase 1 would just be like one of these next trips is start to plant some trees, get a few trees, get maybe 2, 3, 4 trees. That's a start. But basically, like I say, I can start thinking and looking down the road, but that's not a bad plan. And it could be, I could play around with it. It might be something where if I don't want to be here full time, if I'm constantly meeting and networking and interacting with cool new vegans, and there maybe I'll meet some people that are more like me and they're minimalist, they want to bounce. Who knows? I could be living in Costa Rica, somebody could be hanging in a tiny home here, kind of keeping an eye on my place, and with the food forest going, working, growing here. This could become a grow site one day. I mean, it could be, get rid of these lawns. I've had to listen to mowers and bullshit for lawns the whole time I've been here so far, which just makes me think even more. Grass. Why do I need this grass? Although if I completely took over this and there was no chemicals or fertilizer here, I'd be eating this grass. That's what my green smoothies would be made out of. Ain't nothing wrong with playing grass. The only thing wrong with playing grass is if you're in areas where it's been used with if this is clean grass where there haven't been any pesticides or animals possibly defecating in it, this is as good as it gets. This is as good as the wheatgrass juices and all the greens, in my opinion. So there's a lot of potential out here, and I'm starting to look at this space. See, lawn stuff. I'm starting to look at this space a lot differently, and I'm starting to see my long-term aging plans a lot differently. My end game, like I say, this isn't going to be the homestead, but this is my end game. That's going to be my end game, probably either in a Costa Rica or in a tropical setting, is to get a small property. My end game is to have a small, efficient house that I'm comfortable in and grow my own food and be as sustainable as possible and produce and do as much for myself as possible, because that's really how everybody should be going. We don't need to, you know, if I grow it, I know it's going to go to that next level. You know, there's even one thing, there's like commercial grown stuff, there's commercially grown organic stuff, but then there's that stuff you grow with your own hands in the dirt. And yeah, so I just see a lot of possibilities out here, and I just wanted to share that with you because you know, think outside the box on everything you do in life. Like, a lot of people will say, well, that's not practical. Other people don't do that. So what? So what? I make up my own rules. I live my own life. Anyhow, just wanted to share that little bit with you guys, and hope you like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and hope you're having an awesome day. Peace.